Now let's see how we can use the free GPU of Google Colab. Before that, let's see uh, like how much RAM or the disk or the hard disk space I get in Google Colab. So for that, you can directly click here, go here RAM and disk, and if you just hover your mouse, you should be able to see that okay, 1.21 GB is, or I think it changed to 1.24 GB slash 12.67 GB. That means around 1.2 GB of RAM is being used out of 12.67 GB that is being allocated. Similarly, disk space, you can see that out of 107 GB, 20 GB of around 20 GB of space is being used. If I click it here, you should be able to see it in like more in a tab, like in broader way. So here you have the system RAM. You can see 1.2 GB is being used out of the 12 GB, and disk, you already have around I think 85 GB of free space. So so you can basically you can use this free space to upload any large models or use any large language models or try out any different big models. And you can see you also get a very good amount of RAM. 12 GB of RAM is very good enough to try out big machine learning models, not deep learning, but yeah, you can try out some machine learning models as well here. So this is how your system looks, uh, the system configuration looks. Now if I want to use a GPU, so on top you should be able to see a lot of options here. So there is an option called runtime. If I click here, and here you can see there are again a lot of options here. So if you see there are run all, so run all basically will run all the cells, run focus cell. So it is going to run the cell. Control enter is another option, like when you what whichever cell you have selected, it will run that cell. Like it will run the selection. So these are different options you have. And here you have an option called change runtime type. If I click here, you can see by default it is using CPU. So we haven't used we are not using a GPU server yet. We are only by default we are using the CPU server. Let's say if I want to use a GPU server, how will I do it? I will click here, select this. It will show me a pop-up, disconnect and delete runtime. So the existing server will be shut down. So the whatever code or whatever things that we have written, all the things will be shut down, right? So if I click OK, click on save. So you can see on the left side all the file system is gone. So here you can see on the runtime, here you can see it is connecting. So it is trying to allocate a free GPU server to me. So now you can see the files that we created is gone, and this is a new GPU server that we have got. So that is why I said that, like, whatever things that you write here will be persistent. So you can see all these things remain as it is, and whatever things that you upload it here or create it here will be gone. So the good practice is to write everything in the collab file itself, so that tomorrow if you run it, you have those content already in your files. So yeah, so here you can see now, earlier we were able to see RAM and disk, but now we also have a GPU RAM, and it is showing 0/15 GB. So 15 GB of GPU VRAM we get. So it's a very good VRAM to at least runs good amount of, or I would say medium level of large language models. Or even if you want to train big machine learning or deep learning models, you can use this GPU to train those models. You can see that this space has increased slightly because obviously it has installed some GPU related configurations. So it has gone to up to 47 GB, but still you get more than 60 GB of free space, and that is good enough to download a big model and run it. And RAM, you can see it is as it is like 1 GB, and you have around of like 12 GB of GPU CPU RAM. So this is a CPU RAM and this is a GPU RAM. Now, if I close this, if I click here again, you can see GPU RAM is coming. This is one way of identifying whether and like whether a GPU has been assigned to my runtime or not. Another way is I have written it here. So you can use this NVIDIA SMI command. So if I copy this, if I go here and if I click here, there is one more thing. So if you want to create new cells, either you can use this, or if you hover your mouse here, you will get plus code and you can easily create it. And if you want to delete any cell, on the right side you will see the dustbin icon. So if you click here, it is going to delete those cells. Okay, now back to NVIDIA SMI. So to run this NVIDIA SMI is a Linux command. So I will have to put exclamation mark so that Colab knows that this is a Linux command, and I will just paste that NVIDIA SMI. Once I run it, you can clearly see it is showing me a GPU configuration. So it is using a Tesla T4 GPU, and there is this MIB means MB, and out like 15,000 around MBs, that means 15 GB of RAM is there, and I have used 0 MB till now. And percentage wise also, I haven't used the GPU, so it's 0% by default it's showing. So this is another way of verifying it, whether you are using a GPU server or not. You can run this same into your terminal as well. So if I open the terminal, I will paste it. You can see it is showing me the same thing here as well. So this is like both the ways you can check it. And let's say if I go back to CPU, how should I do it? Click on runtime, change runtime type, select CPU. Obviously it will tell me that okay, this runtime will be deleted. Okay, and save it. So on top right, you will see that it's showing connecting. That means it is trying to allocate now a CPU server to me. So that will not have any GPU into it. You can see on the left side, again, I am getting the sample data by default. And if I click here, you can see now the GPU RAM option is gone. And if I run this NVIDIA SMI command, you can see it is showing right now that command not found because we are using the CPU environment. So this is how you can use or switch back from GPU to CPU in Google Colab. And since it gives you around 15 GB of GPU, it is very good enough to run very large deep learning models or small large language models and try it out in your Google Colab. You don't need any GPU or graphic card into your local system, and Google Colab gives you this for free. Another thing that you have to keep in mind is that by default, like if you keep using the GPU server, um, like it has some, obviously since it is free, it has some limitations, like you will exhaust that server in some time and it will show that okay, you don't have any GPU server available right now. So then you will have to wait for 24 hours or more time to become available again. So you can use it, but obviously it's not 100% free. You can only use it for up to certain time limit, and after that if you want to use it more, you can upgrade to Google Colab Pro, or you wait for like 24 hours or more to get it available again. So this is how you can basically use the GPU server in Google Colab.